Hello class, so today we're going to be learning about how to design a science experiment. So for our engagement today, I want everybody to quietly grab a sheet of paper and ball it up, okay? So I want everybody to ball up your piece of paper and I want everybody to stand up, okay? So this is what you're going to do. Everybody is going to throw up their ball of paper, okay? And they're gonna try to keep it up in the air for as long as possible. You are not going to grab it again, okay? You have to keep it up in the air for as long as possible, okay? So don't let that happen. Okay, so keep your ball in the air as much as possible, okay? For 1 full minute, okay? After that, the teacher is going to make everybody sit down so that we can get to round 2. In round 2, you and a partner, okay, are going to be bouncing the ball in the air without catching it, okay? So it should be like this. I can't do it by myself, but so something like that, okay? For 1 full minute, okay? You're gonna be bouncing the balls back and forth without catching it, okay? For 1 full minute. Then the teacher is gonna make everyone sit down again, and then for round 3, you and a group of 4 friends, okay? All 4 of y'all are gonna try to bounce the ball in the air as much as possible, okay? So that's what you're going to do. After that, the teacher's gonna make everyone sit down again so we can have our discussion. Okay? Is everybody ready? Does everybody have their piece of paper ball? Okay, remember, in round 1 for 1 minute, do it by yourself. Round 2 for 1 minute, do it with the partner. And then for round 3, you're gonna do it with a group of 4 students, okay? It could be more if there is more, or it could be less if there happens to be less. But I want to make sure that everybody gets included in the classroom, right? Okay, so when the teacher's ready, they will let you know when to start, okay? As of now, I want you to go ahead and pause the video right here so that you can begin your activity. Alright, have some fun! Alright, so now that we're back and everybody's seated down and we've all had a chance to have some fun today, okay? So let's look at our discussions. I want you to turn to a partner and you're going to discuss for 2 minutes, okay? You're going to discuss the following questions. Why did the paper ball come down? Alright, so when you were bouncing it, why did it come down? Question number 2. Why didn't the paper ball float up? So when we were bouncing it, why didn't it just float up into the sky? Question number 3. Why do we stay on the ground all the time? Why don't we float up? That's a good question. Okay, so I want you to discuss those 3 questions with the partner for how many minutes? 2 minutes. Alright, go ahead and go. And someone needs to pause this video right here for 2 minutes, okay? Alright, so after you pause and you have discussed for 2 minutes with a partner, would anybody like to share with the whole class what your results were, or what you were thinking, or what your thought process was during your discussion with the partner? The teacher will call on a few students for you to share with the class. Go ahead and pause the video here. Okay, so after that, we're gonna dive into our objectives today. Today we are going to learn about how to design experiments on the effects on an object such as gravity. Our content objectives are for today is 4.6D. We will design experiments on the effects on an object such as gravity, friction, and magnetism. But for today, we are just doing gravity. Our language objectives are 4.6D. We will write about the results we found in our experiment on the effects on an object such as gravity, friction, and magnetism. But for today, we're just doing gravity. Now, before we start our experiment, let's take some notes on a few following things, okay? So I want everybody to make sure you have your science notebooks, and if you don't have your science notebooks, then someone needs to pass them out at this point, okay? So go ahead and pause the video so you can get ready. Alright, so we're going to be doing some notes, so I need everybody to make sure that you have the following on your notebook. Alright, our title for today Force and Gravity, okay? A force is a push or pull on an object. Okay. So imagine there's a box here, and we have a few students here, okay, and one of them is pulling it this way and this one's pulling it this way, okay, so they're both what? They're both pulling the object, okay. Now we have, so a force is a push or pull on an object, and we have the most common three forces to study in 4th grade. Okay, the first one is gravity. The second is friction, and the last one is magnetism. Okay. Now, when we talk about force on an object, a force can make an object move, slow down, or stop. And the last thing you can do is change directions. Okay, let me just write that right better. Okay, so for an example, I have my paper ball here, okay? I can either have it keep moving, okay, so I am pushing it. I can have it keep moving, or I can make it move and then slow down, right? Or I can make it stop. Sorry, my assistant here is being nosy. Okay, so we can make it stop, or we can make it change direction. So I'm going like this, I just move it back up and it changes directions. So that's what force is. Okay, so let's do the one that we're studying, okay? Okay, so today we're gonna be studying gravity. Sorry about him. Okay, gravity is the force that keeps us to the ground. Gravity pulls, that is super important, okay? Pulls us to the ground. Yes, this is the ground. Everything that goes up must come down. Okay, so gravity is the force that keeps us to the ground. Gravity pulls us to the ground. Everything that goes up must come down at some point. Okay, so that's why we don't float. So gravity is always pulling us to the ground. Okay, it's very important to know. All right, so let's get down to our experiment. Okay, so on the next clean sheet of paper in your notebook, I want you to write this down. So this is going to be our science experiment template. So every day when we do an experiment, you have to have these things down. Okay, you have to have a title. So you have to have a title to the experiment. Okay, so you can have a different one. So for an example, mine is going to be really quick. Gravity cars. Okay, so that's going to be my title on my page. Question. This could be out all of ours as a class. How does gravity affect height? How does gravity affect height? Okay, so that's what we're thinking about. So the higher I am from the ground, will I go faster, slower? Will I go further? So what do you think? Okay, so the higher I am from the ground, what will happen? What do you think? The closer I am to the ground, what do you think is gonna happen? Okay, so I want you to think. Okay, don't talk to nobody. I want you to think about it. And here is where you're going to write it out. Okay, right here. Educated guess. What do you think is gonna happen? I want you to put your answer right here. Okay. Next, list the materials. Okay. So I'm going to give you a car, a little box so that you can make a ramp, and you're going to need up to 6 books. Okay, so you're gonna need 6 textbooks. They could be the science ones or the math ones. Just please make sure you put them back where you got them. Okay. Next, you're gonna need a recording table, and I'm gonna help you make the recording table just a little bit. Okay. Then you're gonna have your results. So what did you find from the recording table? Okay, by doing the experiment. And lastly, what are your thoughts? Okay, so that's gonna be what the template's gonna look like. Okay, so you can pause here for a few minutes and make sure you have all this down so that way you know what to write when you do your experiment. Okay, so make sure on a clean sheet of paper all of this needs to happen. Okay, so in your table, I want you to, this is what your table is going to look like. Okay, oops. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So I want you to put in this column 2 books, then the next one 4 books, then the next one 6 books. Okay, so you're going to write car in squares. Okay, so you're going to do this outside the hallway or into the classroom if there's enough space. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to grab 2 books, 2 textbooks, and make sure they're the same size. Okay, so don't grab books like these are kind of different. Grab books that are the same size. Okay, so you're gonna grab 2 books that are the same size. Make sure they're textbooks because they're a bit thicker. Okay, then you're going to create a. Alright, so again, so you get 2 textbooks that are the same size. okay? And you're gonna grab your little ramp from the cardboard, okay, just like that. And then you grab a little toy. And you're not gonna push it, because if you push it, then are you pushing it or is gravity pushing it? Okay, and we want who? You or gravity to push it? Gravity. So we're just gonna let the car roll by itself, okay? And you're gonna put it on a square where it's nice and neat. And you're gonna see how many squares does the car travel, okay? And so you're gonna record it there. So imagine when you had 2 books, it traveled 2 squares. You had 4 books, it traveled 4 squares. And then you had 6 books and it traveled 1 square, okay? So you're gonna record that, okay, in your recording table section in your notebook, okay? And the last one is gonna be your thoughts, okay? So this is where you're going to, after you've done your experiment, everybody needs to go back to their seat. Everybody needs to go back to their seat and write these sentences down. I thought blank, 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 blank. What did you think? What did you think before the experiment? What did you think after the experiment? Was your guess correct? Was your guess wrong? Did your thoughts change? What is it, okay? The results of the experiment was ... Okay, what do you think based on what the experiment was? Gravity is a push or pull because of the experiment. Gravity is what? Because of the experiment, okay? How would you define gravity now that you know how to do an experiment? Next, I saw in the experiment that the car traveled ... based on its height. The further it was from the ground, the closer it was to the ground, ... okay? What do you think? Fill in these sentences and write them out, okay? Then I want you to share with the partner, okay? And that'll be all for class, okay? But I forgot to mention, okay? You're going to be groups, and you're going to be in groups of either 6 or 7, okay? So there should be 4 groups in total in the whole classroom, okay? So because of that, we have to assign some jobs. So somebody in the group needs to be a leader. This leader is gonna make sure everybody's doing their job and everybody stay focused on what the experiment is. This leader is not gonna be playing around. This leader needs to make sure that everybody's staying on task, okay? Then we have a recorder. This person's gonna make sure that they're writing all the results in the recording table, okay? Then we have an equipment manager, and the equipment manager is just making sure that they have all the equipment and they're putting everything back, okay? And then we have a Flipgrid manager. So this person's making sure that they're recording on Flipgrid what the experiment is happening, what's happening in the experiment, okay? So just to make sure, you're gonna go to Flipgrid, and if you're in my homeroom, you're gonna put in the code, okay? But if you're in Ms. Zuniga's homeroom, then you're gonna go to Ms. Zuniga and you're gonna put in her code, okay? In the Flipgrid, you're gonna see this topic right here. It says gravity experiment, and it has Bill 9 saying science. Yeah. Okay. So this is where you're going to record. You're gonna hit recording, and you're going to record the experiment going on. Remember, you can hit pause. So if there's like a pause in the moment in the experiment where nothing's going on, just go ahead, pause, and then hit record whenever something is going on, okay? So make sure you're recording the good parts in the experiment, okay? And make sure you're talking about the experiment, okay? So you're going to record the experiment, and you're going to say, oh, Roger is doing this and this and this and this, Ricardo is doing this, so now Jefferson is doing this, Diana's gonna be grabbing the toy, our result of 2 books is 6 squares, Eduardo says that blah 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 blah. Okay, you're telling me what's going on in the experiment, okay? You're not just hitting record and then no, you're telling me what's going on in the experiment, okay? Imagine like you're on the news and you're saying, oh my gosh, today's weather, we're having a gravity experiment and it's gonna be so amazing. We have toy cars, and we're gonna see which one's the highest. I think the highest is gonna go the furthest, or I think the lowest is gonna go the furthest. Okay, tell me what's going on. Okay, that's gonna be part of a grade. Okay, so we want to make sure that you're talking in those Flipgrid videos. Okay, you have 5 minutes to record. Don't waste it. Okay, you only get 5 minutes, and that's it. And you cannot start over. Once you hit start, you have to keep going. You cannot start over because you can't start the whole experiment again. Okay, so after that, you're done. That's it. Okay, so that's all, and the teacher will be dismissing you to go gather your materials and get into groups of 6 or 7. Okay, remember, do not play around. We do not have all day to do this. Okay, so make sure you get to work. And if you need any questions, come and grab me or rewind the video. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to answer it in the recording. Okay, all right, have a good day. Bye.